So let's get this disassembled. So the first thing is to take off this black acrylic piece. I'll give you more of a macroscopic view here. So now don't be afraid to move the gantry around if you need room. You can move things around. In fact, actually, if you kind of watch the screen, if I move fast enough, so you're actually inducing power into the circuit. Now we don't want to do that too much because that's not good for it, but if you move things slowly, it doesn't generate that circuitry, and you can manipulate very carefully the position of the different items in this machine. Again, want to do it delicate and slow. Alright, let's get back in. So, you have these frame here. You have these top cap-head screws. You're going to loosen these up, take them out. They're really, really long. They actually go all the way down to that aluminum mounting bracket. Okay, once that's loose, you can pull right out, put it off to the side. Try not to lose it. These are very hard to find. Everything on this thing is metric, so it's not an easy order. Alright, so in order to pull this acrylic plate off, I have to unplug one of the steppers. So I'm going to unplug the right one, and I can kind of very carefully shimmy this out, okay, without doing too much damage. Now, I don't want to unplug both extruders right away because I'm going to have a problem eventually. I'm going to switch these cables. And we cannot get these fans and steppers switched from each other. Okay? Because for instance, what would happen if I had this fan here, it's supposed to be for this stepper. If I had it tied up to this stepper controller, so this fan is the one that's supposed to cool this stepper, well, it's going to be heating up the nozzle to print, and it's going to be cooling the wrong side of the block. And we'll actually end up frying our heater cartridge and thermocouple and all sorts of bad stuff. So we want to make sure we keep everything together. So in fact, I'm going to grab a marker. So I'm going to put an R on one, L on the other. I'm going to do the same thing with the plugs. They're color coded, but if you don't remember the color coding, it doesn't help. So I'm going to put a little R. And then the black one, the Sharpie won't show up, but I have an R on the white one, so I know that goes to the right stepper. And I'm going to do the same thing to the fan. You can kind of see the fans where I have the right and the left. Okay? So you want to keep those correlated so we don't lose that association. Alright. Now, we're going to go ahead and take off the fans. Loosen these screws in the front. There's just 2 screws for each fan. And these go through the aluminum block into the steppers themselves. Alright, once that's loose, I'm going to pull off the fan. And if you look at the side of this, you can see it's not just a fan, it's also a heat sink, as well as some spacing blocks. So I want to make sure that I keep these things together. Alright, and facing the same direction that they came out. And in fact, the best thing to do is to take this out and reattach it back to the stepper, because we're not going to deal with this too much more. So I'm going to pull this out just a little bit, because the screws come with it. I got the stepper that's sitting here loose. I'll just attach it right back on there, and then that also kind of reduces some of the anxiety of mixing things up. You don't have to get it tight, just enough that they're not going to separate at all. Okay, same thing on the other side. We're at a point where we just have the manifold block and the heat cartridges.